What's up, Yvette? Mom Reactor. Welcome, everybody. Oh, wait. I think I need to... see if I can change it. Weird. Guess I can't change it on in real time, huh? Cool. What's up, John, Cat, Bree, Sam, Shy, Studio. Welcome, everybody on YouTube. Ben is in the house. How are you, brother? Good to see you. Gustavo, Brandon, Nash Vegas. Good evening indeed. Welcome, Gustavo. Thank you for joining. And if you haven't emailed me yet, please email me to lasersimulationx@gmail.com. Welcome to the membership program. I deeply appreciate you. So I can add you to the mailing list. I think I have, let me see. So we have, oh, I can pull it up this way. Great. Incredible. So yeah, if you can email me at lasersimulationx@gmail.com. Thank you so much for the likes, guys, on TikTok. I would deeply appreciate it because that way I can add you to the mailing list to notify you when the group Zoom call is on, and we can take it from there. Sharp Accidental saying, can you explain a bit the process after the laser is on the wall and the molecule is ingested? Absolutely. So first of all, just so you know that there's a full protocol on codeofreality.com, but I will talk about this in a moment. codeofreality.com will look like this. I think you should be able to see it, right? Right here. There you go. Oh, interesting. Yesterday was weirdly different. I wonder if YouTube changed some things. Owl of Ouroboros is saying, hey, Dan, I had an epiphany earlier. I think we need to start doing large groups with specific sessions with the molecule. I believe that if we occupy the space with many minds, something will unlock. Maybe. I think that before we do that, we need to understand what the code exactly is doing before we jump into something like this. So I will be a little bit more conservative at this point, and I will wait until I have some understanding of what's happening there in terms of functionality before we do something of that scale. But maybe you're not wrong. Welcome everybody on TikTok. Welcome everybody on YouTube and X and Twitch. Welcome to Simulation Talk 131, the channel where we usually talk all stuff simulation and hypothesis. My name is Danny, and I'm claiming to have found actual proof that we live in a simulation. Not philosophically, but an actual experimental proof. We meet here every single day to discuss the experiment, the implications, as well as science, religion, spirituality, philosophy, God, whatever comes to mind, we talk about it. Everybody on, thank you for the email I just got, Gustavo. 1 second, guys. If you are on TikTok and you want to see longer format content, you should check out my YouTube channel, Dango Thoughts, DANGO Thoughts. I've also added a members program on YouTube that allows people to, well, different tiers allow you different things, but some of them will allow you Zoom calls with me, with the group, with the members. Some of them will allow you private Zoom calls with me. All of them will include early access content, early access to my content. Like for example, the reaction video of Chase Hughes that is already on for a few days now, to the laser. Chase is a body language expert. He used to teach interrogation for the government. He does some stuff with Dr. Phil, and he has a behavioral panel that he runs, which they have almost 1 million subscribers on YouTube. Really good channel. I highly recommend it. And he invited me so I can come show him the laser. He saw the laser. The reaction is already live. So you have early access to these videos, as well as some private videos from my life and more content, new content that is coming only for the members program. I'm also taking all kinds of suggestions. So I think that's enough house cleaning and advertisement. And now we'll do some diving into some topics and some questions. I would like to once again thank Ben for being so generous. Yesterday, Ben, this is the second time he did this. He gifted 5 different member programs on YouTube. Can't thank you enough, Ben. Thank you so much. It helps grow the community tremendously. Really appreciate it. And I appreciate all the members that are joining, because it helps me focus on this more full time and allow me more time to think what kind of value I can bring to the community. So thank you for that. I deeply appreciate it. So once again, and by the way, cross platforms, thank you so much for the likes. If wherever you are, if it's TikTok or YouTube or Twitch or X, any like helps. The algorithms really love that, so I would appreciate it if you give the live some likes. Okay. Yeah, I saw your email, Gustavo. 1 second, TikTok. Boom. Okay, I had to do not disturb because there was a lot of text. Sharp Accidental saying, I think it would be good to have a group where people can talk to the ones that saw the code. You have it on Discord. We have a Discord group, the link of which is now officially on YouTube. So if you go to my YouTube channel, Dango Thoughts, DANGO Thoughts, you will see my Discord link linked in the channel's bio. If you click on more links, you will see the Discord link and you can just join. There's not that many people there yet, so it's a good time to join. You're going to be one of the OGs that is joining the project. I check it every couple of days and I react to things there, so it's part of the community. I agree, no need to rush into it. We have so much to learn. Right now we are dipping our toes into the pool. Exactly. Later we will take the full dive. Oh yeah, that will be on a different scale, but I agree with you. Does the molecule come in a clear liquid form? And if so, have you tried to pass the laser through it, sir? I mean, you can have the molecule dissolved into a liquid. Sure, it comes as crystals usually. I don't think there's anything. Well, again, that's my impression. It's not magic, right? There's something that is happening. So I don't see any reason to think that specifically if you project it to the molecule, somehow something special is supposed to happen. It's a cool idea, but I highly doubt it's going to produce any special results. But I'm not going to stop anyone from trying. And if you come up with some cool results, I would love to hear about them. You can always visit the website for all the information that has to do with the experimentation, how to do it, what kind of laser you need, protocol, all of that stuff. And all of it is on the website listed on the screen, which is codeofreality.com. Gustavo is saying, does the console and panels seem to you like a type of computer with input and output? It definitely looks like a computer. Input, it definitely has an output, obviously. It has a shape and a form. I've only managed to make a few things work. I'm working on a whole new video about the console, so there's going to be a lot of information on that. So, if you wait for that video, you'll definitely know a lot more. VG13 is saying, good morning. I'm new to your content. What are your thoughts on Salvinorin A and any similarities to the molecule regarding experiences? Is that like, I don't want to say, there's a lot of things I can't say on TikTok. So is that like Salvia. Let me see. Hmm. I'm not sure because I'm not sure that I understand what that is, but I can look into it. So I can't comment because I'm not sure. But thank you for the question. I'll definitely look into it. On Discord, no one there that saw the code. Uh, are you sure? Maybe not. Send you a private message on Discord. Cool. Just so you guys know, that's not the place to send me private messages. I rarely check Discord. Well, actually, let me correct that. I never check Discord for private messages. There's just too many things to check, so I'm not going to start expanding across more platforms. If you want to get my attention quick, which at the moment is difficult because there's just too much demand, email is your best bet. Lasersimulationx@gmail.com, Bart. I am backlogged on emails, but usually I take I answer a few that I can answer quickly, and the ones that I can't, I answer all of them in one bulk every week or two. So that is your fastest way to get my attention. Social media, I rarely or never check it. And the same goes for Discord. I do check the group now because people put an effort into being there and creating it. But most likely, I will not see your private message on Discord. Apologies. So please email me, lasersimulationx@gmail.com. How are you, LP? Good to see you. Ben is saying, if someone gifts 5 memberships tonight, I'll match it. Whoa, that's amazing. I don't know what to say, Ben. Can't wait to talk to you, man, and see what value I can bring to your life. Appreciate you. Yesterday, you said you didn't email me yet, but if you can just shoot me an email, like a quick one, so we can schedule a Zoom call for whenever it works for you. The molecule is the catalyst. The mind is the lens we view through. Beautiful. Do you know if there have been any animal studies of the behavioral effect of the molecule? If so, do you know the results? I don't think so. I think that would be unethical on many, many levels and for many reasons. Maybe I'm not aware of something, but as far as I know, no. I do know that different animals trip. So, like, there's jaguars that eat, I think it's Amanita muscaria, or however you pronounce it. And then they just lay there and they seem to be doing it on purpose. You could operate anything on Salvia, and why is it not okay to say Salvia? Because TikTok is weird about saying all kinds of things. They've been blocking me for all kinds of reasons, so you got to be super careful with them. And honestly, I don't know what's going on with TikTok. I mean, I'll still be streaming here, but like, dude, what? I don't understand what's going on TikTok. Like, it's not really advertising the page. There's a lot of weird stuff going on. I believe the console is a big key to unlocking new information about the space. I also believe we need to enter the space with specific intent, as in show me how to work the console. Yeah, unfortunately, I don't think it's how it works. I know a lot of people are convinced of that. I don't think so. I think it's more like kind of like very straightforward. Like, you have to figure it out. There's things there that needs to happen. Intention definitely moves some dials inside, but it's not that straightforward. Trust me, I've asked. It's not. They can't. They actually can't give you information. They can't tell you things. That's not allowed. My contention is that whenever people think they give them information, they never give them information. They can give you inspiration. You come up with the information, and they can kind of nudge you towards yes or no. But new knowledge never arises by anybody else telling you that. That's the whole point of the simulation. I'm making the laser myself, and I will report on my experiment. Thank you, Gustavo. I appreciate that. There's a form. There's a form on the website, report form. If you can fill it out, that would be amazing. We have a new one coming soon. I would deeply appreciate it. And if you feel like sharing a video, even if you will never share it with anyone unless you give us explicit permission to do so, but that really helps the experiment and the research. If you'd like, I'll share my, oh, there you go, experience on mushrooms at dusk on a beach where, where a 3D translucent room appeared before my eyes for a few moments. I think you told me about this in an email or somewhere, right? Yeah, that sounds fascinating actually. If you take the molecule and the red laser is there, but you don't look at, are the wait, are they there? I'm not sure I understand your question, Brendan. If you can clarify, who is they? I emailed you. My name is Devin. It's the first word in the email address. Thank you so much. Okay, perfect. Let me check. Yeah, to Laser Simulation X, right? Ah, there it is. Boom. Gotcha. Whoop. Thank you for the gifts, Amanda. Good to see you here. Perfect. All right, Devin. So is it Ben or Devin? Or is it both? Okay, perfect. We'll set up conversation. Oh, 1 second. Felt like playing with a puppy toy. Amanda's in the house. Nico is in the house. All the OGs. So good to see you guys. How are you, Amanda? Up. I'm trying to say hello. Jesus. 47. Okay. Mimi. Red pill junkies is kind of cool. Thank you for that, JB. Arizona Frontiersman. Could the console be a metaphor? No. I mean, the simple answer for me is no. It is not like a metaphor. It's like an object. It's like a real thing that is there. Now, if you want to categorize it in the same category as kind of like reality is a metaphor, then okay, maybe. But I feel like we're stretching the boundaries of what we mean by the word metaphor. I believe the same. They can't directly give you information, but they can drop hints, so to speak. Yeah, they can kind of guide your attention maybe a little bit. Do you have any theory on why they're not allowed to give you information? Yeah, because then you would inject a bias into the system. So if you're running a simulation and your point is to derive some new information from the simulation, from whatever happens in the simulation, then anything that you do inside of it introduces a bias, therefore kind of ruins your whole experiment. I think that's one of the main reasons. Have you ever experienced salvia divino? Okay, can't say that. And how does it compare to the molecule? I can't stand it. SALVIA. I know some people swear by it. I'm doing good, Amanda. Good to see you. I can't stand it. I don't understand it. I don't understand the point of it. To me, it feels like you walk into a store, you pay $5, you get punched in the face, and asked to leave. That's what salvia feels like to me. I truly don't understand the value of it at all. Now, it does not mean that it doesn't have one. I never understood it. It's definitely not my molecule. So the monitors of the console are following your movements. Could it be the console of your currently operating? The physical reality is a virtual reality, and the molecule might act like a mirror. So yeah, the physical reality is a virtual reality already. It's exactly what it is. It's a subset of a larger computational reality. All of it is computational. There is no base reality to escape to. There is no escaping the matrix, so to speak. It's not possible because it's the same thing as saying escaping reality. The proposition is that the world in general is computational, so all of it. And then our universe is just a tiny subset of that larger space. So there's nowhere to go. We just basically discovered a higher function is what I'm claiming. Not what I found. I mean computation in general. My theory, we have to figure this out on our own. They can directly give guidance, but not showing directly. Yeah. And it's not even about us, which is something that we tend to not like. But when you see the symbols, is it only while using hallucinogenics, or are you seeing the console without anything now, or only while using the molecule? Only while using the molecule. I got a 5-volt laser projected in on the wall with glass. The look through the wall effect is not related to an altered state. That's important to note. Don't you agree? Yeah, but I don't know. Have you seen what I'm talking about? So the speckle effect is not what we're talking about. We're talking about a super specific content there that you can only see with the molecule. And because of the complexity of the subject and because of the hours and hours and hours of me talking about that in particular, I would not repeat all of that right now. The only two things I can encourage you to do is to look at the details of what I'm saying about that space, because it's not about the fact that it kind of looks like there's something there, but something very specific that is there. So I can either point you to the videos in which I'm talking about that, or inviting you to try. That's the only two things I can, that will deliver the point. It was along the if a tree falls in the woods and no one is there, does it make a sound? What is? Sorry, I think there's some. Oh, you asking? So you're asking a deeper question, Brendan. You're asking about just ontologically, do events happen when nobody is observing them, is what you're asking. But that's not necessarily has anything to do with the laser. It's just in general about reality itself. Because I, at this point, fall in a much more idealistic perspective, specifically kind of like along the lines of Bernardo Kastrup, analytic idealism. Under that working model, whatever it is that interacted as the tree that hit the ground, whatever it is that is the ground, whatever it is in actuality, which is a real thing, which is mind at large, that happened. The sound of it can only occur when there's a conscious observer, because the definition of a sound is what an observer hears when certain events take place in the larger mind space. So these events actually occur, but the experience of sound is a very particular set of events that include an excitation of the mind field, which we call sound. So is there a sound when a tree falls in the woods by itself and no one is there? No, but there's also no tree and no ground because there's no experience of these things. But it is not that nothing happened. Something happens, but that thing does not have a tangibility to it until somebody's observing it. And I think a lot of times people hear this phrase, this statement, and they think what that means is that the observer gives rise to the event. That is not what it means. The event is still happening. It's just that the observer dresses it up as what the observer perceives, which is then coded in linguistics, experience, color, tapestry, qualia in general. So that would be the actual full answer to that question about the tree, which would also be the same about everything else in reality. Or that's what I would say where I land on this. It does not have to be red, no. Diffracted, not refracted, Amanda. So I do say refracted in my first video, and that was a mistake that I've made. It needs to be diffracted. Just refraction by itself seems to not work. You have to diffract it first. Specifically, the scattering that you can create with diffraction is very important. And it does not have to be red, but red is the easiest thing to observe for a while because red is the lowest frequency. Nico, thank you so much for sharing the live as always. I think the sound always present. It didn't take person to make the sound. I understand what you're saying, Lucy, but that's a category mistake. So the word sound denotes air pressure as perceived by an ear. That's what sound means. Otherwise, it's just a wave in what we call the medium of air. That's not sound. Sound is when an ear and an observer perceives that air pressure. That's the definition of a sound. So to say that the sound always exists is a category mistake. You saw it in another color? Yeah, you can see it in any color. Wait, did you try it with the molecule, Amanda, or just kind of like naturally? Because that would be crazy. I don't know if you guys are into dreaming. It's a great beginning of a sentence. But I recently had a lucid dream where I found the laser reader for a CD-ROM player and attempted to activate the module at various frequencies. Dope. Good morning, Melanie. I aimed at it. I aimed it at the wall, the laser, and started seeing a hexagonal flower of life pattern, and then kind of like a mandala, right? And then words appeared on the wall as if I was reading data. Incredible. And this is, wait, was that kind of like referring to you knowing about my work, or this happened to you just naturally by yourself? Did you have any experience with these molecules before, or this is like all natural? Ben is saying, I'm a musician and I use Ben here and there, but my friend called me Devin. Cool. So I'll call you Devin. Flower Melanie is saying, found you. Awesome. I'm glad you found me. Good to see you here. Patrick Hill is saying, what is it like when you see the console? Can you explain a little bit more? Sorry, Patrick, I am not talking at the moment about the console because I'm working on a new video about it. So all of it will be reserved for that. We have a few comments from Twitch, which I'm very excited about. Well, first, Gooby saying, Gooby Boxton, what's your best rebuttal to the speckle pattern theory for the code in the laser? Will two people independently see the same symbols without knowing what the other person saw? It's a complicated question because it's the way that it appears with all its complexity is what actually puts it over the top. It's very matter of fact. The speckle effect does not require a rebuttal because it's not really an argument for many reasons. One of them is if somebody thinks that people confuse, get their minds blown because they saw something like the speckle effect, I think they're assuming a little bit too little about humans' ability to recognize something special or profound or something they've never seen before. In other words, they think that all people are idiots. So that point is not even worth addressing. Okay. If you can tell that the speckle effect is some kind of a visual, it's not even a hallucination. It's like a visual, I don't even know what to call it. It's like, it's so clearly not a thing, right? If you look at the speckle effect and you think that is anything but a mirage of some sort, if you think it's like an actual movement, I mean, I don't know if you like what with the IQ level there, but it's not worth discussing, right? And this is not an insult. This is just like a fact about the human mind. Any healthy human mind will immediately know that the speckle effect is not anything to be excited about. If somebody thinks that everybody are excited about the speckle effect, they do not deserve to enter the conversation because they do not understand something very fundamental, either about the whole situation, or just have a very little opinion about, very, very low opinion of how well most people can reason. Because of that, I don't entertain that notion at all. When you see the code for yourself, it's immediately apparent that there's something that is just completely different than what you're used to. Thank you so much for the gifts, man. Appreciate you. And the truth is that it's not even just the code. There's so much going on there. There's a tapestry. There's some seem to be like something organic moving around. It's very complex. You can talk about it. It's super stable. It does not care where you are, what surface it is, when you. It makes no difference whatsoever. It's always what it is. It's unheard of in terms of what we call hallucinations. And again, this is if we're talking about, for example, Andrew Gallimore, who's a world expert on this. We're gonna have a conversation about this on Tuesday, Pacific, 5 p.m. Pacific time on X. And one of his criticisms of my work are more worth taking on board, because this is a neuroscientist who knows this stuff through and through, and he says, "Hey, hold on, we do know of hallucinations that are look like language, look very realistic, that map themselves on perfectly on three-dimensional spaces. These rebuttals are worth discussing." I'm going to emphasize again, if somebody thinks that everybody's brain is blown away by the speckle effect, they do not get to enter the conversation. That's what I would say there. I was just watching a video about the Mandela effect. Do you believe there might be a connection that someone is changing our reality or whatever for whatever reason? I have no idea. The truth is that I think the Mandela effect most likely is just a quirk of people's inability to remember things properly. But I'm open to the possibility it's still happening. I just think that it's such a what's the word? It's just so I don't know why, but the Mandela effect for me is just such a so what. It's like, okay, so let's say somebody's shifting the timelines. Who cares? You're in this one. I don't know. I get it. There's some people get grabbed by certain things and others by other things. This is not one that grabs me. So I don't know. Like, it seems insignificant to me, even if it is true. What do you think the simulation creators are trying to figure out? The answer to everything. That's why they're running all the simulations to try and see if they can triangulate some kind of a thing that always repeats itself the same way. Also, what different types of material surfaces have you tested so far? Oh, many, many, many things. Skin, plants, concrete, wood, walls, doors, screens, hard drives, everything I could basically get my hands on. Also, more exotic things like super thin 10 nanometer thickness bismuth materials, different metals, um, magnetized screens, papers, you name it. Like, it's clear that the code, but also the code is not a product of the type of material. It's very clear right away. Like, it seems to be like fundamental. It seems to be just whatever space time is. It's like it's clear to you that it's in the air too. You just can't see it because you can't bounce life off of it. Work on water, yeah, but you're gonna have to. It definitely works with water, but it's not clear if the bounce is from the water or from the glass. It's really everything. That's why I call it the code of reality, because it seems to be pervasive across the whole thing. Have you tried to project the laser on pure glass or a mirror? Yes. With the mirror, I don't. People keep asking me this. I'm not sure why. So, like with the mirror, the light will just bounce back into your eye, most of it, which is very dangerous, by the way, especially because talking about lasers and altered um, in an altered state of consciousness. So I wouldn't be playing with mirrors, to be honest. It's possible that there might be some effects that we can play with, but I personally, in order to interact with it, I will need a theoretical framework to know why I'm using mirrors. Like, what's the point of this? Like, why do people think mirrors are significant? I'm open to hear it. I don't understand why people think it matters. If the code is in the surface, then all and light helps you reveal it. With a mirror, you're just gonna see some of the light bounce back off the material of the mirror, in which you where you're gonna see the code. A lot of it will just gonna the photons are gonna go back into your eye and might do cornea damage. So I don't know. I'm not sure why people are so stoked about the mirrors thing. No, it's not English letters. It's what looks like. Now I have to emphasize because I think many people think I'm saying it's Japanese. It is not. Looks like, kind of like Japanese katakana. Like it's the closest thing to. But there's also like what seems to be kind of like regular numbers. It's not a language we know. Oh, Amanda, let's see. I saw it in another color naturally in dreams. Whoa. Wait, you saw it in a dream? It's not a tryptophan-based molecule. In fact, the molecule is too big for 5-HT. You're talking about salvia, right? What's up, Lex? Good to see you. Kind of related to Terence McKenna's experience, perhaps. Well, everything would have to lead back to Terence in some way. I mean, he was my big inspiration to even think in these directions. I thought I had a Mandela effect this year. Thanksgiving was always the third Thursday of November. Wouldn't that be more like the kind of like the Groundhog Day in some weird adjacent way? And by the way, if you guys see mandalas in the laser, that is part of a larger three-dimensional structure. I was talking about this today with my fiance. This is not live. Do some see the code more easily than others? Yes. And I don't know what that is. Again, so like to the Ben, to the question of like Japanese, Chinese, it's none of these things. It's not Japanese, it's not Chinese, it's some alien language. The closest that I can describe. Oh yes, it is. It's the closest thing too. I'm not familiar with the language. I can also say it kind of looks like Hebrew. There is no like thing that we know of that looks exactly like that. Otherwise, it would be that language. What different types of materials? Oh, okay, we got that. I've just started reading Gallimore's Alien Information Theory. It's very interesting because he starts off the book talking about how alien code seems to lend it. If anybody wants to come on a live chat, please leave me a message in the chat. Tell me what you want to chat about, so I will know in advance. Is the code unique to distinct pockets of space? No, it seems to be the entire space. All right. You don't see. I see you trying to come on, but if you can just please give me the subject matter. Otherwise, it signifies to me that you're not actually listening to what I'm saying. Have different brain types. I'm sure of that. Some people mirror like a fluid, while others have a strong structural understanding. That's true. Should be moving to Northeast LA by the end of the month. You're first to be invited to our rooftop deck. Oh, yeah, Jose. Can't wait. I'm excited. Good to see you, brother. Perhaps there's some correspondence to Kabbalah's Tree of Life. Maybe. Does Pocket of SpaceX always have the same code, different code in Space Y? Well, you can't really tell. There's like millions of characters all moving all the time. What do you think it means? Do you think it confirms simulation? The simulation part I'm actually bringing on from my other experiences in the space. I realized this later, but the code, I guess, is something that supports that. I've been told directly by the simulators that this is simulated. Now, but just not to sound too wacky. I don't expect anybody to take my word for it. but I will defend the position for logical reasons because I know it's almost like a cheat because I know for a fact that's the case, at least to the extent that, what they're saying, and it matches everything else that I've gathered over the years, and it matches a lot of other data points that come completely unrelated to any of this, just from physics, computational physics. It's the thing that makes the most sense. Don't wait. Let me read some of these. Can the code speak to you from a past, present context? No, I think at the moment the code is just there. It's not really clear what it's doing. It's maybe writing. It's maybe reading. It's maybe doing both. Maybe kind of like the Akashic records. I don't really know. This is now I'm in the habit of making this clarification because of Gallimor's criticism video, which is relevant. I'm calling it a code of reality because I believe that's the closest function that it might be serving. Do I know for a fact that that's what it's doing, that creating space-time itself and all realities? No, of course not. But again, it's kind of like saying dark matter. We don't know it's matter even, but we know that it's kind of belongs in a family of things that exerts gravity, so we call it that. And it's kind of like the same thing. Can you see this code 24/7? Yeah, the code is just there. No matter, as long as you smoke and you project a laser, it will always be there. I have just started reading. Oh, wait. So I didn't finish reading this comment. Okay. It's very interesting because he started off the book talking about how alien code seems to indeed be what's running our universe. I don't then understand his strong skepticism shown in his critique video, since you have read the whole book, I assume. How well do you think his theory in his book aligns with what you're seeing in the laser light? That's a great question, David. So, if I want to be fair, I don't think that what Gallimore is saying in the first book, in Alien Information Theory, which I highly recommend, by the way, because it's a really good educational book and fascinating because he presents some pretty wild and fine ideas there. I don't think he would ever refer to it as his theory or hypothesis. It's something that he's playing with. It's an idea, right? Um, I so I it matched what I saw, right? I didn't read this book before. I didn't know about Gallimore at all when I discovered this. And when I released my first video, then people told me about Gallimore on Reddit. And then I started reading some of his stuff and I read his book and I was like, oh my God, that kind of matches it perfectly. But I don't think he would ever say that's his actual scientific theory. Well, for multiple reasons, because when we're talking about an actual scientific theory, it has to have rigor, it has to have specifics, it has to have falsifiability. So you need to be able to falsify what you're saying, or at least have an element of demarcation that kind of says, if we have these conditions met ever, well, I guess that's falsifiability. Is that how you pronounce that word? In any case, you know what I mean. So yeah, to be fair, I don't think that's his mainstream theory. It's an idea he was playing with, and our thoughts evolve all the time. I think to some degree he still believes that's possible, but I think his issue with the way I'm doing it is that he feels I'm rushing. He feels that it's too early to say things like this, and I completely understand because when you have a lot of experience with this molecule and you're very knowledgeable about these things, it's almost a knee-jerk reaction, and sometimes a healthy one. That because there's so many, people tend to have an opinion very quickly. People experience something one time, their mind is blown in some way, they immediately project all of their assumptions and convictions about the world onto that thing. If they're a Christian, they're going to do it from the Christian perspective. And so it goes, right? Like everybody does this all the time. The reason we have science is exactly to combat this kind of attitude, which is like, hold on, let's not decide just yet what we think that is. And people are not very good at this because it's easier to jump to conclusions. I think that his criticism of the way I'm going about it is along those lines, because I think he will correct me on Tuesday if I'm wrong about that. But I think that his strong impression is that I'm doing the same thing, which is just I had my mind blown on this molecule and I immediately jumped to conclusions. That's just not true. I've had an experience with this molecule for over a decade. Only then I started having these like super realistic experiences that are beyond what people usually experience on the molecule. And I know this by speaking to many people. And then that made me ask a very direct question, which is, wait a second, is this in my head or not? And then I tried to answer the question in some form. I was aiming towards just like you would go about it in any other scientific hypothesis. I had a lot of assumptions. I tried a lot of them. They didn't work. And I thought about it in many different ways. I had some understanding of, physics and how things kind of work. And I had some assumptions. And all of a sudden, this weird interaction started happening for me that seemed to have been guiding me in some form that would never matter unless it would produce something that ended up in a result that other people can replicate, which is what makes it unique. Now, to the degree that, like I said in my response video, I agree with everything he's saying from a technical standpoint, because I also agree that the actual tool, the main tool, is the molecule. And the laser seems to be allowing us to do something extra with the molecule that we didn't know we could before. And so that much he, I think, accepts. But he thinks that I'm, like he said, this thing that he's saying that I'm, papers before movies, we're jumping too quickly to conclusions because what the real thing is might be way beyond what the simulation is. Kind of like the most almost like a caricature explanation of it. I think that the word simulation holds a lot more water than that because of the specifics. But again, you have to, take the value of Andrew very like so. Andrew's word holds a lot of weight here, not just because he's an expert in this field, but also because he's specifically a computational neurobiologist. So he understands these things very deeply, mathematically, theoretically. He has a very deep understanding of these things. So when he hears a layman, so to speak, says the word simulation, I think his impression is like, oh, he doesn't even know what that word means. He doesn't know me to that extent, right? I think if we'll chat a little bit, he'll understand that I do know what that means. And then that word does fit pretty well, and I think fits more than anything else. But also, I would literally like it's kind of hard to talk about it in these terms because I'm basically, if when we get to this crossroad, I'm the only thing I can say as to why I'm so convinced is that I've been told directly. And now think about how this sounds. The aliens told me. It's like, who are you? Like, why do you think the aliens would tell you the truth, right? That's the immediate response. And I would have the same response. But all I can do is report honestly. And I can't do anything else. And time will tell if I'm right. So again, if it's real, it can take the pressure. I'm not worried if I'm convinced that it's real for the reasons that I have. And if I'm presenting these reasons and they're not enough for somebody, and over time the claim is vindicated by some whatever reasons, whatever other reasons that are satisfying their scientific needs, great. It's all about, for me, it's about the truth, not about me. So I understand Andrew's criticism from the perspective of a scientist. It seems like this is too fast to decide, and essentially we kind of, we're to some degree, in his opinion, damaging the project because we're saying too many things that get people excited in the wrong direction. Again, it's a complicated space. I disagree with some of these assumptions about what it actually is doing in the cultural zeitgeist, but I will be dishonest if I would say I don't understand where he's coming from. I get it. Anyways, I think I rambled enough about the subject. The observer without the molecule, at least for now, means this reality has no utility. I'm not sure what you mean by that. The entire universe is a giant quantum computer. Or it's a quantum system, and computers are the way we instantiate computation into physical matter. So computers are just physical objects that have computation instantiated in them. But computation is much larger than any computer. Do you believe that there is a way to see the code without the molecule? Yeah, I met a few people that claim to have been able to, and I have no reason to doubt them because they've, I have no reason to doubt them for many reasons. So I do think it's possible, yes, overall. If I can copy it on a paper, it is in the trailer. If you go to YouTube, Dango Thoughts, Dango Thoughts, and you look at my trailer for the movie we're working on about the subject, in the beginning, there's a piece of paper that has the code on it. So it's already on the paper in the trailer. Oh, you're saying when you say it, I'll or Boris is saying when you say it isn't about us, could you elaborate on that? Of course, humans are insignificant, but I wonder what you mean exactly. Oh, that the ultimate function is not about humans in particular. It's like it's good that you exist, but it's fine if you don't. And I think it's a pretty healthy and mature realization. It's great that we're here. It's not that we're insignificant. Everything in existence is as significant as everything else according to the function that it serves. It's not that we're insignificant, but it's not about us per se. It's about whatever the system is trying to do altogether. However, your needs, aspirations, drives, life experiences, they're part of it. So they are, to that extent, also important. That's what I mean by that. Gustavo is saying, did someone else report the console? I met two people that I'm absolutely certain see it because they described things to me that I never told anyone else. We need more minds exploring the console if they could see it, and I would love if we find more people to see it. It's kind of hard to establish. Yes, I just texted you an email. I want my Discord invitation. Can't wait. Found you on Twitch. Awesome. Also, you don't need to wait for my email for that. I mean, I'll respond to all the emails eventually, but if you just want the Discord link, it is now on my YouTube channel. So if you go to the YouTube channel and you click on more links at the top, you will have the Discord link there. Finally. Gobi Buxton is saying, do you know of anyone who has seen the code in the laser without the molecule? Yes. Just happened to do the experiment in a dream. Whoa. I've experienced certain molecules, but I also experiment in dream very often about anything and everything. It's kind of wild that people can do this kind of stuff. It's amazing to me. Danny, do you have any thoughts on Western or Eastern forms of astrology? Do you see any value in astrology? Me personally, no, but I'm pretty sure that a lot of people can find it, and that's fine. Whatever system you have to bounce your thoughts and experiences off of to derive meaning from, I'm totally down with it, as long as it doesn't hurt anyone else and you're not lying to anyone. Wouldn't it be funny if the orientation of the lasers, say, to true north yielded different results? I mean, yeah, that would be wild. Any result that is different than what we usually observe would be wild because it will allow us to orient ourselves around that one departure from what the code is usually doing. Gustavo is saying, I'm also a scientist, and Gallimore is the quintessence of the establishment. Envious and power grabbing, he sees you as a peasant and him as a king. Rhetorical question, why didn't he do the experiment? Yeah, so I have the same question as to why he didn't do the experiment. I think he knows enough that he doesn't need to. I understand what you're saying, and I'm not just, trying to diffuse the tension. I really don't think it comes from like a vitriol. The reason that I don't is because I understand what it's like to be in the presence of somebody who's, so again, this is not in the sense of like entitlement, just in the sense of like, look, I have thousands of experiences under my belt, right? So I guess you can call me an expert in this, like experiencing it, because I know what's possible to a very large degree. And I know what it feels like to have somebody with a certain amount of certainty that comes along and they're so certain about what they're saying, and you just know that what they're saying is not plausible because of the amount of experience you have in that space. The tricky thing here is that on the one hand, you know that the correct ethical thing to do is not to immediately judge them and say, oh, just because they have this attitude and they think they know, you know, they think they're hot shit. They're like, I have 50 trips under my belt. I'm like, dude, I have 5,000. So what? Like, like, so you immediately have this kind of like, who do you think you are kind of vibe, right? It's automatic. And then they tell you all kinds of things, and it's like, dude, just spend some time, like humble yourself, right? So this kind of attitude is automatic. That's why I get it. And it actually takes me some work to reduce the heat on that reaction when that does happen to me with somebody. But because I've now learned, what I think humbled me is that I've had the experience of somebody kind of like that coming along, and then, well, not once. It did happen a few times that I kind of brushed it off, and then later discovered that the thing they said had merit. And it happened enough times for me to go, and that actually makes me look a little foolish. So if for nothing else, maybe I should stop reacting that way, because you never know. You never know. So now I try my best to be respectful and just say, hey, okay, why do you think that? Why does it matter to you? And I still fail sometimes. Viewers that are here for a long time can tell you I can get pretty spiky if I'm too tired, or like right. Some people might feel like I'm spiky now. This is nothing. Like sometimes I get like I get into it, and it's fine. Like it's fine. It's never coming from like like a bad place. But this is exactly why I know what it feels like to be in the presence of somebody you believe don't actually know what they're talking about. And when they're talking with this amount of confidence that I'm talking about this, the immediate response is like, hey, kid, come off it. Right. And there's this drive to kind of like, hey, relax. Okay. Because let's think about this. He studied this, right? He spent time in academia around this. He wrote about this. He's been writing about this for 20 years. It's his life. He is a true expert it, by all parameters. So this, because I get that, I have no problem with it. I just, all I can do is try and communicate back in the most honest way I can and explain as to why I have the confidence I do. And then I'm not one of these like, like just arrogant kids who think they know everything. I've been around the block. I know the space. Okay. And I know that this is not normal. And also, it's corroborated by the fact that I'm not just showing some college kid somewhere. Like I've shown this to scientists, I've shown this to serious people, and they all kind of go like, I'm at least they say, I'm not sure if I'm fully on board with what you think this is, but I definitely don't know what this is. This is weird. Okay. So, and again, I think Gallimore admits this much. And this is why, if you look through there, it's true, you're right. There are some moments in this video that I see kind of like in his voice, we're just really, really annoyed with me calling it the code of reality. But because I get it, I have no qualms with that. But even with that emotional response, he's still doing a lot of work, I think, and still having a discussion about the merit of what they think I'm saying. I do feel that sometimes he's being a little unfair and almost like misunderstands me in ways that he shouldn't. But again, all we can do is have a conversation, right? So I'm not so sure yet that what you're saying about like him, representing the establishment, his opinion holds water for sure, and he's very respected. But that does not automatically make him the establishment. He's just a person with a lot of experience and a lot of respect in the space. He got there somehow. I have respect for that. So, but again, I appreciate you. I think what you're also doing is you're showing solidarity and you kind of having my back, and I appreciate that. But I think in the end of the day, if we have an honest conversation, it should fix itself. And hey, if it doesn't, I'm not here. I'm not answering to him, but I don't want it. There's no reason to be on opposing sides of this. In the end of the day, I think Andrew's mind is very open. He's a wild dude. Like I love the way his mind thinks. I took a lot from his work. He's brilliant, and the way he breaks it down is, it's very approachable. Some people say, "Oh, but he's so dry about it." First of all, I'm not so sure, but also, again, he's a scientist, so like he has to put some concreteness into it, which will not be as sexy and free and lucid as people would like it to be. I think under the banner of being a scientist, he's as open-minded as you're gonna get. It's like talking kind of like openly like this and still being within academia. And by the way, I think he's kind of leaving academia. I think he's more writing now, if I'm not mistaken, and he will still be doing research with through with these projects with Neurotics and all that stuff. But again, I really I'm not I really have no negative feelings towards Andrew whatsoever. I just think that he's misreading. If he has a perception of me just being kind of like a novice that doesn't know what he's talking about, that's just factually wrong. I am not. I am an expert in this, in the experience side of this. I'm not a scientist, but as far as experiencer go, like as far as like, being somebody who's really experienced with the space, I definitely am. So, and I can, we'll talk about it. We'll see how it goes. Again, I think I rambled about it enough, but I appreciate your opinion. Yeah, I'm not expecting to get anything from them. So just to be super clear, maybe like to tie this point. What's up, Mikael? Good to see you. I'm not trying to get anything from them. There's there's an element here that I believe that is more important to me, which is how we behave. To the extent that I can, I want to set an example of how we can talk, even when we disagree. And you can disagree even strongly, and it can still have a respectful conversation that will potentially will keep a bridge open where the time is right. You can actually have some kind of a discussion or collaboration, not in terms of gain. It's just not. There's no reason to be on opposing sides of the discussion when we're actually not. It's just about style. I think he just disagrees about style. Maybe I'm wrong, but that's what it feels like to me. And if all I can do is clarify why I have the style that I have, and we can even agree to say, hey, like he might say, I will never see that kind of way of doing it as the right way, but we can just agree there that we disagree on that, and that's it. And there's no like a personal vitriol. There's no like a personal clash. There's no need for that. That's my position on that. Thank you for the likes, guys. Put two lasers pointing at each other. What if the universe collapsed the second you did that? And by the way, Gustavo, what kind of scientist are you? Would love to know. Casey, how are you, brother? I'm happy to report that that GPT has finally got up to speed and is describing the phenomenon more along the lines like you have been describing it. No way. I guess I guess there's enough people talking about it online. That's why. It might be cool to make prism out of the molecule crystal. That's cool. I like that. Even though lasers don't respond to prisms because they're already separate coherent light. How to do the experiment in January? I sure hope for a day in a safer, easier to get molecule. And you, yeah, I mean, both of us are there. Can you explain how you exactly observe the laser? You stare at the wall until it appears. Kind of, but there's a whole protocol on the website that you see listed on the page. I'm just repeating it so many times. I think some of the listeners are bored of hearing it. So if you read the protocol and it's still not clear, you can always email me and I will explain. Yeah. Oh, this is a great comment. Texas Trav. Thank you so much, brother. He said, if the code runs fast, use a strobe light to slow it down, to study it. That is exactly right. In fact, I don't even know why we didn't put it in the protocol. For a long time, one of the reasons that I like this janky thing that I have, I don't know if you guys at this point, most people are just familiar with the trailer. So if you scroll back on my YouTube channel, Dango Thoughts, if you watch my first video, I think it's even listed in the trailer at the end. My first video I ever put out on this, which was on YouTube, and I'm showing this laser. This looks crazy, right? And by the way, this is not complicated at all. I'm saying this in the video too. This is like the simplest thing. It just batteries and microscope lens and the lasers inside, heatsink, all that stuff. It just kind of looks janky and cool. The reason that I made it with this thing is exactly because of the strobe thing. Because I thought I'm gonna put like a metronome here or something, And that's exactly right. Because if you guys squint your eyes like this and you kind of flicker, you would start seeing the code easier because it's like, I don't know why I never thought about adding it to the protocol. Thank you for reminding me. This is amazing. Yes, absolutely. Strobe or even strobe light. Actually, that's a great idea. Uh, if you want to, Texas Trev, if you want to email me, lasersimulationx@gmail.com, because even though, yes, I knew about the strobe, but I don't know why it never occurred to me to just put it in the protocol that we should just maybe use like a strobe light or something to help people with that. Well, first of all, it might cause epilepsy and all that stuff. But if you email me, I'll credit you with this idea. I'll put it on the website and I'll say um, as ideated by your full name if you're interested. So would love to credit you with this idea. It's great. I just got here. Would you please explain what you're saying? I'm claiming that I found proof that we live in a simulation. If you project a diffracted laser on the surface and ingest the spirit molecule, you will see code running in surfaces. If you want to know more details, you're going to have to watch my videos here. Absolutely. Yeah, you got it, Texas Trev. Great comment. You can watch my full videos on this topic and the trailer about the movie that we're working on about the subject on Dango Thoughts on YouTube. DANGO Thoughts. Speculative implications. If these symbols represent a universal structure, they might encode fundamental laws of universe, physics, consciousness, or cosmology. Serve as a gateway for communication with higher intelligence or dimensions. Reflect the brain's ability to interact with deeper hidden layers of reality. Wow, that's wild. Casey, can you text me these, please? I appreciate, or the whole prompt. I would appreciate it, man. I don't think if it would be possible to make a prism out of a molecule. It's a crystalline powder. Also, that's not really how it works. No, I know. It's just a cool idea. Your mind is a lens you view through, not the molecule. You're right. You're right. That is correct. But there's something about the structure of the molecule that is unique to what it does. And I agree with you that there's, like I said in the beginning, there's no magic here. So I don't think anything special was going to happen if you're going to project a laser through it. I just liked the idea. It's just a cool idea. I would like to do the experiment myself, but I am against any substances. Maybe breath work. Try breath work. I tried. It didn't work for me. It doesn't mean it won't. So maybe something to try. Have you managed to read, copy the symbols? No. Too many of them. Too fast. This is something I'm going to add the page finally to the website. Frequently asked questions. This is literally one of the most frequently asked questions. Ryan is saying, what do you think about there being operators or administrators on the outside of the simulation running it or something? I actively speak with a recurring physical tap on walls, things, and yeah, no, definitely. I mean, I see them all the time. So I guess you can call them the management companies or the simulators, but no, definitely somebody's running this on a substrate. Like, again, I'm saying that's my conviction. Of course, I don't know. Like, what? How? It's interesting. How else are you supposed to speak if you think you know something, right? If I say it seems to me that it does not capture the level of conviction I have of this, so then I'm lying. So then it's like fake humility. I don't have that humility. I'm convinced because of whatever reasons, and time will tell if I'm right. So I'm not really sure how else to talk about it in any other way. Have you experimented with the experience the mandala effect? Maybe. Again, I don't know why it doesn't grab my attention. I've read in Dr. Fred Bell's books propositions the color come from the astral plane level of ether. Oh man, that's outside of my wheelhouse. It kind of flies over my head. When you brought up objectness and respect, the colors on one of the podcasts come to mind. So I do agree with the thing that that red is fundamental and the idea of a wavelength is actually secondary and not the other way around. But when people start talking to me about levels of ether, astral planes, dimensions, if I have to be honest, I just tune out. It's not even. I'm not triggered. I just don't know why. It's not clear that there's too many moving parts, and it's like 50 stacked claims that you don't know if any of them is true. It's like a house of cards. I don't My brain doesn't think like that. Like even the wildest things I say, they're all like if you like sit me down and like, okay, but why do you believe this? Why do you think that? I can actually break it down for you. Like I have a full map of why it's that and nothing else. And a good theory is one that is very hard to vary. That's the definition of that's the how it goes. If you have a theory that can be that and a million other things and it will explain the same thing, that's not a theory. You just have like a not you personally, but like in general when people talk like that, it's just kind of like, yeah, it's my guides from the fifth dimension, and they said when you go to the ether of the astral plane and you do this and you do that, like, okay, but why don't you go to the fourth dimension? I don't know. That's what they told me. Okay, like to me, that's not a useful bit of information, so I don't interact with it. But I do agree that the redness of red, there's something unique about the essence of what things are, and color is like in particularly interesting in that way. So I would absolutely agree with that. I think this is falling into temporal machine space. Not sure what that means, Brendan. Brendan, if you don't mind, I've noticed that these comments is something. It's just how you write them, and I don't hold it against you because I think on social we always write it this way. But if you don't mind, especially on YouTube, that you don't have that much limitation of characters, whenever you make a comment, assume that I'm only reading that comment and I land on it out of nowhere. So imagine that I'm going through many, many comments on different platforms. If I see a comment, I might not remember what you said 5 minutes ago, 3 minutes ago. So if you say something that continues or answers something else, I'm kind of lost. So if you can just recapitulate a little bit as to what the context of what you're saying is, as if you're just making that one statement, if you don't mind, because that will make it easier for me to just react, like respond to exactly what you're saying. We use strobes at work to slow pump shaft. Interesting. And fans down, slow enough to observe them. Brilliant. Yeah, I noticed it kind of early on. I found some similarities between vertex and fragment shaders. Interesting. What do you guys use, by the way, Texas Trev? If you don't mind emailing me about the specifics of what you guys use, that would be cool. I understand you said strobe lights, but if you can send me the specifics, that would be great. Gustavo was saying the Discord isn't working. The Discord isn't working. Well, you emailed me, so I'll send you the Discord link. I'll do it now. The Discord should be working. Shouldn't be no problem with the Discord. Let's see. Let me give you this. So where's the? Oh, there we go. Pick it up here. Gustavo. Awesome. Just put the Discord in there, Gustavo, for you. Discord invitation, same thing. Boom. Doing it live, baby. We'll do it live. You're doing this for 10 years, correct? Can you make a video about your journey and what you've learned so far? Sure. No, I've been doing it for a lot longer than 10 years. I've started doing psychedelics when I was like 11. So 31 years. Yeah. Might be a silly question, but have you tried listening to music while looking at the laser projection? So no sounds changes, no mind state changes the laser. Let's just say it that way. No matter what you do, sounds that makes no difference. Binaural beats, vibrations, nothing changes it, which is what makes it wild. You should coin a term for the code for conversation's sake. I call it core, just like the website, Code of Reality, COR. But thank you. How do you know the code is real? I mean, you're taking substances. I mean, that's. I appreciate the question, Flor Melanie, and especially because you're from Twitch, and I don't have a lot of followers from Twitch, so I appreciate you. But this you're asking me to go too many steps back here. I would invite you to watch my videos on the subject. There's a lot of hours of me talking about it. Specifically, I would point you to my first video on this topic, and which I'm addressing why I think the code is real. I'm talking specifically as to what makes it real. If you go to, well, just go to YouTube to Dango Thoughts. Search in my videos. I don't remember the exact name of it, but it stands out. The thumbnail of it is a guy with VR glasses, kind of looking up like this. There's only one of those. That's the video. It should be about 30 minutes long. It's the first video I ever. It's almost like I guess you can call it historic. It's like the first video I ever put out on this topic, in which the first time I spoke about it live. So if you watch that, I think it will give you a good understanding. And if not, feel free to email me and I'll explain. But this is what makes it real. I'm literally every live I'm explaining it again and again and again and again and again and again. I think people got a little tired of that. And again, no, like I have tremendous I'm so grateful that you're here, truly. And thank you for following from Twitch. I need all the followers from Twitch as I possibly can get. But I also think that the video will do you more service and it will be more interesting because I did put a lot of work into making it interesting. Have you seen the symbols that the government claim Roswell? Yeah, it's not like that. Have you had a Hebrew speaker seeing the code in Japanese? I'm a Hebrew speaker. They kind of look like Aleph. I had Japanese speakers. They said it's not Japanese, but again, I think that these are all kind of like our brain collapses it to the closest thing that we know of. I don't think it's any of those things. I don't see any reason why it should be. I mean, it can be. Maybe there's some of these ancient languages. There's a reason why they are what they are because maybe the people who developed them they kind of know they kind of felt something and it inspired them to write the language that way. It's also possible. But as far as I know, it doesn't say anything. It's just like a very complex movement of different things that are happening there. I already unraveled reality storyline code. No lasers. Wait. Already unraveled reality storyline code. No lasers or the molecule needed. I have booked and videos, books and videos. Wait, it jumped. It jumped on me. Oh, did you delete it? I can't see it. I'm trying to find it again. Oh, no, it didn't. Okay. So reality storyline decoded is saying I already unraveled reality storyline code. No lasers or molecule needed. I have books and video. No one listens. All right. So I don't know what to do with that. It sounds like you're just bitter about it, but like what I don't know what to say to that. Is there any legal analogs of the molecule, like how the green has been sold in states and illegal? So, not that I know of. No. How do they communicate? Great question. They usually communicate through a very rapid, what I call very rapid hot cold wiggle with your conjectures. So you kind of postulate something, you go like, wait, you want to tell me that? And before you even begin to formulate the question, they already know what you want. So they go, yes, no, yes, 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 no, 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 yes, yes, yes. And they go like 10 channels at once. So it's like very fast. Or if they need to give you some much more complicated understanding, they would just hand you an understanding. And you just know. And you know it's not your thought, by the way. It's very distinct. You just know. You've been handed an understanding. That's how they communicate. And by the way, I guess what I can say, reality storyline decoded. I mean, I have sympathy for that. I mean, in the end of the day, you have you ever considered that maybe the message is not clear the way you're portraying it? Also, I'm not sure why the thing you said, no lasers or molecule needed, why that's relevant. The molecule is a technology. I'm offering not a theoretical framework, but a experimental one. So I'm not theorizing. I'm saying if you do this, you will see something that is very substantial, right? So I'm not really sure that what you're saying you did and what I'm doing are mutually exclusive or anything like this. If you're saying if you're asking me for advice, which it doesn't sound like you are, as for like how, because you wrote books, I mean, you sound like a smart cookie, right? So you must understand that if it doesn't resonate with people, then maybe there's a reason. Maybe it's not clear, or because if something is expressed in a clear way and people can understand it and it has truth in it, people should react, right? So not sure, but again, I'm not even sure to what effect you're saying it. My impulse is always to try and help to the extent that I can to anybody if that's what they're seeking. So if it is the case, feel free to email me. We'll talk about it. Just don't, I'm not going to start reading all your books and all that I can't do that right now. But if you want to recapitulate your general idea and summarize it in 2 paragraphs, just like from my understanding of what your approach is, what the methodology is, all that stuff. Again, I don't want to sound like a pompous ass. Like I'm not. I don't even know if that's what you're trying to do. But I guess my impulse is just to try and help if I can. So we can talk about it. But I don't know. Otherwise, I don't know what this comment is. Why are you sorry about questions? I welcome the questions. That's why we're here. I would love to learn more and try it. Need to find the website and watch videos. Yeah, codeofreality.com, or you can go to my link tree in the description. If you're on TikTok, you can just go to the link tree. A lot of these links are up there. My YouTube channel, the first video, the Discord is there, and the website as well. The website is codeofreality.com, codeofreality.com, and the YouTube channel is Dango Thoughts, DANGO Thoughts. What about making a video of the laser, then watching it slow motion? It's interesting because if you do that, the code is still running in the same speed, which on the one hand, you can say, oh, see, that means that the speckle is the reason for the hallucination. On the other hand, you can say, well, if it's the code of reality, it will always have to appear for an observer in the exact same speed that it runs in order to run that reality in that moment, depending how you look at it. But we're gonna need to use other tools to triangulate this. But that's a good question. Hey, good to see you, Don. Do you think that CERN article is somehow related to any of this? The one that I found, you mean? I have no idea. I think it was a good hint in the right direction, and something in me wants it to be the case that in the end of all this, roundabout, the key to answer the final thing that we need will be in that first paper. That would be wild and amazing and beautiful, like bow tied on top, but I have no idea. Also, oh yeah, the one, yeah, you're talking about the one that I was pointed to, right? I appreciate your candor with my ignorant questions. I'm still new and learning what the code is. It sounds a bit like three blind men trying to describe an elephant. Kind of, yeah. It's very similar to that, actually. And don't apologize. The whole reason I'm doing this is to answer questions. I'm just being honest that that particular question takes us to literally square one. So and there are literally hours of me talking about this online. So I'm pointing you to a particular first video I ever made that I think will give you a lot more information than I can in the moment. But thank you so much for your questions, and don't please keep asking them. Know what the code is doing. I can write it. I can use it. Okay, amazing. So what is the? I don't. So what's the problem? Where's the where's the issue? If you know what the code is, right? Just email me. Tell me what we're doing here. What is it? How we're using it? What can we use it for? Let's go. What's the problem? Could it be more complicated for people that are short or farsighted? Maybe a little bit. Yeah, you need to just kind of find your gaze, I guess. I put your video in watch later, reality storyline decoded. What is that? What is reality storyline decoded? Hold on. Sometimes people tell me all kinds of things that I think I don't even know. Is that like a video? What is that? I'm not familiar with that. Simulation. We do data gathering and processing, i.e., senses, nervous system, brain, decoded, etc. Don't know what for. Interesting. Reality storyline decoded is saying, that's the handle. Okay. There you go. Okay, now I understand the sentence. The videos are just a snippet of the code. They are fate stacks. Cool. I don't see the links. So if you reality storyline decoded, if you can if you can email me the links, I would love that. Lasersimulationx@gmail.com. Let's see. Just pulled up your website. Wait, is that you? Yeah, that's you. Cool. So I'll listen to your videos and I'll tell you what I think. Cool? After we're done here. Also, you're in the Long Hair Boys Club, just like me. Awesome. Here. I have yours on my to-do list as well. Dope. Excited. What do you use the code for? I don't know yet. Oh, you're asking reality storyline decoded. I started to unravel the code 20 plus years ago before simulation theory was a thing. Cool. Just so you know, reality storyline decoded. I did not come to this from the simulation theory. I was never interested in it. It never allured to me. I thought it was dumb. Not dumb in the sense that it can't be, just dumb in the sense of like, who cares? It's like, so if it's simulated outside the universe, now it's arbitrary. Who cares? Right. But then I found a way to observe it directly, and that changed everything. And I'm like, oh my God, okay, well, and if you found a way to do that reliably without any other substances or anything like this, that's amazing. And I fully support that. And I'll watch your videos. And if I believe that there's merit there, I'll talk about it very openly and bring you on. And we can talk about it. So, absolutely. Technology always precedes science. We don't need Gallimore now. Research for yourself. But I have end first. The tech is found, constructed, and then science comes up with explanations. Sometimes, like for example, you wouldn't be able to build the laser without understanding some theoretical stuff about quantum physics. But I see what you're saying, and and I'm doing it anyway. I'm not waiting for Gallimore to tell me it's okay to proceed. That's not what's happening. I have a lot of things I'm working on the side, including some attempts of uh, like real world applications that I'm working on. So if I can prove that, I mean, that's it. Now they just have to catch up, basically, right? But it's not there yet. The code reveals information about events. You'll see that in the 3 videos of my page. Cool. Yeah, I'm excited. Interesting. For sure, give them a watch tomorrow. Have you been seen much about 2025, 26? A lot of talk online on big events. The code also has facets that reveal God's characteristics and attributes like math. My study or dotics involves different methods, produces specific types of answers. Amazing. Trouble is you will wear out before the idea of experiment will. Not sure. I love the fact that I am wearing my wireless headset. I can clean up and listen to you. I love everything about it. It's like an interactive podcast. By the way, are you maybe scared to be stopped by force from someone? People who discover things which are blown most of the time disappear or worse. Please be careful. Appreciate your concern, but no, I have no worries. This is above anybody's pay grade on this plane. That's for sure. I answer to one thing, and that is the truth. And I do my best to act out of the goodness of my heart to the extent that I can. And that's all I can rely on. And beyond that, what will be, will be. Sounds like you got to get Skype home. Over the past 2 days, I've sent him emails and messages in various platforms. Yeah, don't, reality story decoded, don't take it personally. I am now receiving so many emails. It's just absurd. So it's definitely not personal. always respond to my emails at the end. If it was in the last 2 days, don't be surprised. It might take me another week or two because I'm literally getting an email every 30 seconds. I always get around to them, always. And if you want to tell me what your email is, I will search for it in particular. I've been in this for 20 years, getting responses are fleeting. Been hoping to build a team, people who decoded and unravel program code. I haven't really. Cool. Again, if you tell me what the email is, I'll search for it in particular. Can you tell us how they did it without the molecule? I would like to try, but I'm against substances. Gabe Lang. You can, but you have to achieve the states via meditation, and that takes years. I've practiced meditation for 25 years. Wow. Okay, I'm going to go through these comments a little faster now. There you go. See, you already have some fans from here, which is awesome. I hope you left your email somewhere here so I can search for it, or at least give me the name that you listed so I can find it exactly. So I agree with Al and of Ouroboros, who says it's my opinion that all of this is in very early days of understanding. Instead of getting hung up on details, we just need to collect as much data about the code and the molecule space as possible. I agree with that. Send you some information on Instagram. Sorry, Texas Trav. I will probably not see that. Please email me. lasersimulationx@gmail.com, brother. I don't check my social media messages. It happens sometimes. It's very rare. You might not hear from me for a year. Don't send me messages on Instagram or TikTok. I will not see them. Email, please. lasersimulationx@gmail.com. If you may put a lot of effort into typing a lot of in, copy paste, put it in the email. Appreciate you, brother. Yep, lasersimulationx@gmail.com. Have I ever met the trickster? Yeah, there's quite a few of them, by the way. Any tips for going down that path? Certain meditation, reading beyond video, make wonder watching. Yeah, I love that we have great interactions and reality story line decoded. You have a family here, brother. I never want anyone to feel alone. And if you've been working on this alone for 20 years and you figured something out, you deserve the attention and you deserve to be recognized. And if I read your stuff and I listen to you and I think there's merit there, which it sounds like there's a good chance that that's the case, I will personally make sure that you recognize for what you've done. So if I have anything to do with it, we'll definitely my sentiment is let's go. Ben is saying your relationship with the molecule comes off as if you have great respect for it. That's one of the reasons I like this project. Appreciate you, Ben. Thank you for the kind words. RSD, you may have a deep understanding of it. However, we need to get more minds up to speed, if that makes sense, my mind included. We can't run before we can walk, not with something this important. Exactly. Gustavo is saying everyone can get spiky. The question is, a self-renowned scientist in this field hears about a breakthrough in his field and doesn't do the experiment. I get it, man. Come on, Dan, he's doing it for himself. Sure, but we have to extend an olive branch if we are to make progress. Sometimes people have an initial response and they might put themselves in an awkward situation. And then you have a choice. You either put them in a way that now makes it even more uncomfortable, which now gives them no choice but to bury their feet in the ground, or you offer them a hand and say, "Hey, I can we work together?" And I think that's the better choice if we are to move into a future in which we are collaborating. So I'm with you. I don't know why I didn't do it still, but it is what it is. And again, I appreciate your support. I really do. And again, question for you. What kind of scientist are you? I'm really interested. I know I'm way behind with the comments, guys, but today I'm kind of going slow and really taking it in. So today's one of these days. Thank you so much, Texas Trev. Appreciate you. Don is asking, a little concerned to try chemical on my own. Are there groups of beginners' advice? So what I might start is some kind of a way. I don't know how to do this yet, but I have some people who are very technical, and if anybody here wants to help figure this out, please. What I want is maybe a good idea to start like a little, well, maybe on Discord actually. If you join Discord, Don, I'm pretty sure that some discussions there can help you. I maybe I will ask them to create a whole group just for discussions of figuring out locations and places where people can come together and do this stuff. I don't know from a legal perspective what are the ramifications. So let me look into this. I'm gonna have to talk to the lawyer and like figure it out because in the end of the day, some places in the world it is legal. So maybe something along those lines. That's a good thing. Are you on Discord, Don? Send me the molecule and look at it. That's awesome. Doesn't know about the Discord link on YouTube. I am so feel free to ignore the email. Thank you for keeping your promise. Absolutely. A short of yours popped. Ufology saying a short of yours popped in my feed yesterday, but it was cut off before I could confirm you were quoting Haim Eshed. Does that ring a bell? No. Wait. Why would the short cut off? You mean it's something on my channel, but I don't really know who Haim Eshed is. Hold on. Let me look. Oh, okay. That's his name. I forgot his name. Yeah, he's basically an Israeli. He was the head of the Israeli space program, and he was saying that he knows for sure that there's like colonies on Mars and all that stuff. I was talking about this on a podcast on the short. Oh, maybe with Daniel. Maybe with Daniel Wheeler, the Daniel Wheeler show. Maybe there. I'm not sure. Wow, that was a long time ago, though. Thank you a lot for the talk. Have a great day onwards. Thank you so much, David. I appreciate you. Shining the laser is the functional equivalent of running the print. I guess the kind of. That's cool. Oh, I sure wish molecule would be legalized and such. I also see. Let me see how far we are, because we have some gifters. Ben, you gifted another 5. Oh my God, Ben. Ben gifted another 5 people, and that's you promised to do it only if somebody else gifts 5 people, and you still did it, dude. I don't know how to thank you. I mean, I'll definitely find a way. This is so nice of you, man. I'm blown away. What great generosity. Well, enjoy the lucky 5. Enjoy it, and I'll keep working on my end to make it worth having. So you guys would have the incentive to keep it. I'm gonna go back so I can see the comments that I missed. Reality Storyline Decoded saying, I back engineered the code. I thought if the code was like a computer program, then there is a first symbol in the first row. So I back engineered the code to the first letter. First of all, that's brilliant if you manage to do that. My question to you is what code? So if you never have had access to it through the molecule or the laser, where did you see the code for the first time? Or what code are we talking about? Thank you, Flo. I don't know who you're saying this to. Yes, it clearly should be legal. Such a shame. Absolutely. Remember scientists using lenses with a certain mixture in it that reveals another realm. That story is a little murky, to be honest. Freud was almost spat on by his colleagues. Galileo was almost burned on the stake. Expect this from scientists. This is potentially the most important claim in recorded history. Expect government interference. Yeah, again, I actually showed this to people in the government. You'll be surprised. Uh, there's a lot more good people in power than people realize. And I understand skepticism, but and there's also the idiots, but I it's very encouraging to see that some people in power, they're very aiming in exactly the right direction. So I can tell you guys from my experience, we're in good hands. Like we're moving in the right direction for sure. Oh, we have another 5 gifts. Ebony McKickass. Wow, you guys are amazing. Thank you so much for these incredible contributions. I'm so moved. Truly, I'm so blown away. Wow. Wow, guys. Thank you so much. And by the way, Ebony, please also email me with the super contributor as the title, so I know that you're in a special category, so we can also do some more private zooms and all that good stuff. So I want to make sure that I give back. Thank you so much, guys. I'm truly moved. Eric is saying I can draw some if you want some codes. Absolutely, please do. When I felt chi, I was warned to remove my bio from net. All right. How do you gift people? I think you can only do this on YouTube. And to everybody who are on TikTok right now, my YouTube channel, regardless to either you join the member program or not, just because there's more character options there, it's Dango Thoughts, DANGO Thoughts. Sport contain none of the illegal. That's true. Have you tried making a room completely red with laser? Maybe you see more of it. Not yet, but there's a lot of things like this in the works. It's just a matter of budget and time. Polarizing filter, polarizing glasses, yes. Depending on the exact one, you can sometimes see the code a little easier. The Discord is on the YouTube channel where you do press more links. And if it doesn't work, like somebody said here right now that the link doesn't work for some reason, email me lasersimulationx@gmail.com, which is listed on codeofreality.com, codeofreality.com. That way you get both. It's listed on this website. So, whoa, so many comments. Okay, I'll try and get through them as fast as possible. Wow, that's amazing, guys. Thank you so much for allowing others to enjoy. Wow, wow, wow. That's incredible. I was drawing out on paper what is happening with the experience. This morning, I started looking at the whole thing like it is a simulation and began thinking about how the laser is code to Wait, you mean you had the experience with the molecule? 30% off Costco. Nice. It is all cold. That's amazing. Wow, wow. Let's go. Let's go. Ebony, Ben, you guys are such a blessing. Ufology also gifted 5. Dude, guys, you're blowing my mind right now. Wow. Wow. I'm like blown away right now. Gifts are going all around. Dude, this truly like touches me because it means that you guys believe in the project so much. That's amazing. That's incredible. Wow, thank you. Um Again, all the contributors absolutely email me with the title super contributor. And if you already have, then great. And then we'll make the necessary arrangements and have a chat. Thank you. What's the name of the frog? I don't know yet. I'm creating some shirts with him because people really love him. And I'm going to think of good things to use to also have like a good cause behind it, aside from, helping the project. One of my potential thoughts at the moment, not sure if it's going to be that one at the end, but I don't know why, but the homeless thing always, yeah, I know I've said this before, but for some reason, the homeless situation kind of like really, like it really touches me. I don't know why. So maybe I'll find a way to contribute to that somehow through some of these proceeds, like with the shirts. People seem to really like them. So if it's gonna take off and it's gonna be like a big hit with the frogman teaching me the guitar, a big chunk of that will go to some kind of a donation that I will verify that actually goes for a good cause. Um, what is the best plan to get it out? Oh, wait, let me go back a second because there's so much. Okay, I think we're right. Have I asked to meet Jesus in the molecule realm? No, but I've seen, like I said, I've seen him. It wasn't on the spirit molecule. It was the 4ACO. Let's see if they mark us on this because I wasn't sure if that was the word. Let's see if they mark us right now. But definitely, I saw it on the 4. But it's not like he came to me and said, "I'm here to save you, my son." He's like, I saw what was happening, like around all of that and the function. So, Yoshua, indeed. I was very surprised. Language. Also, everybody on TikTok, if you guys don't mind, give it a few more likes. And actually, across platforms, that really helps the algorithms. TikTok and X and YouTube and Twitch. If you don't mind liking the live, it definitely helps the algorithm. Thank you. What is the best plant to get it out of? Let's see if they mark this one. Root bark of Mimosa hostilis. Let's see to what degree TikTok is listening. There's a group on Facebook called by Eric Peterson. I love, and then the name of the molecule. I love, then the name of the molecule. Eric Peterson. Peterson is with an E at the end, not O. Peterson, SEN. Look it up. You can tell him you came from my live. He's really good at like teaching people all this stuff. What kind of breathing technique are you talking about? Never heard of it. No, it never worked for me, but I always do Wim Hof before I start. It resets the energy really nice. Just 3, 4 rounds of Wim Hof. You can just look it up on YouTube, guided Wim Hof breath work. It's really nice to reset, but really you can do anything that you feel resets the energy. Just putting the intention and kind of making a separation. Okay, now we're doing this. Like enter a more ceremonial space where you're paying attention to the molecule. It is paying attention to you. That's very important. Good name. Exactly. Speak authoritatively. It's your channel. Thank you, Ufology. On the same page, people take it the wrong way. I've I had always heard it was sketchy getting it skipped, which is what has kept me from trying to get it skipped. Oh, shipped. Okay, my dyslexia is out of control. How? Just so you guys know that this is actually a controlled thing. The root bark itself, if you order a lot of it, they will take note. Don't do it. That is, they know. So I guess there's a way to do this, but like I don't know. I truly don't know them. So like, I love the name of the molecule on Facebook. Eric Peterson. Look him up. He's your guy. Also, he makes incredible designs. He puts them on shirts. He made these. He makes things like this. Super, super dope work. And I love everything he does. You guys should definitely check him out. He's great. Oh, I'm very dyslexic. Yeah. And it comes out really bad when I'm tired. Um, it's legal. The molecule isn't. It is legal, but it's controlled. If you're talking about the root bark. So if you order pounds of the root bark, you will get a visit, like for sure. It's not a conspiracy theory. You will be visited for sure. So be careful with that. God wrote and implemented the code. It's not okay. So Reality Storyline Decoded, who is claiming that he figured out the code, and I'm only saying claiming because I haven't watched your videos yet. Something tells me that you might have. He's saying God wrote the implemented and implemented the code. It's not a team of aliens or simulators on the parameters. It's explicitly coded in reality's storyline code. I'm not even religious. I was atheist when I saw the code. I agree with you, but it is okay. So, from my perspective, from what I saw in the space, it's actually very hard to discern which one is the chicken and which one is the egg. So it's not clear if God is running all the simulations and the way it appears to us it is as technology or the other way around, where it's a very advanced civilization running a simulation, many of them, and ours has the archetypes and the elements and the motifs of all the gods and religions and all of that stuff. That's not clear to me because as far as I can tell, the level right above us, they're insects, like they're insectoids, like so they are definitely aliens. Now, I've also seen the religious elements. It's a longer story, but we can talk about it. But I am not. My jury is still out whether which one is first. We tried making room completely. Wait, what? How do we? Oh, maybe you repeated it. What? I missed all of these comments before, I guess. Wow, I'm so behind. The inclusive bundle is on the Code Reality website. Yep. I've had some experiences with the molecule where everything in my room began to change in different shapes. Mended. Insectoids, yep. I've never seen the dribbling basketballs. Never, ever. In fact, I never met a person who did. Maybe somebody is here, but and I spoke to a lot of psychonauts, and nobody that I know has ever met them. I think it was a Terrence thing. Flower Melanie is saying, I'm a true fan of your work. It's an entertaining and be educating me. I am learning to see life differently. And if you are right with your theory, I would love to know. I want to believe. I want to believe. It's like X Files. Thank you. I appreciate the sentiment. Kyla is saying, hey, Danny, how would you define simulation? Do you think perhaps one single something originally created this? Simulation means computationally rendered environment. That's it. Does not mean fake. Does not mean you're a puppet. And the only thing that is simulated is the environment. The outcome is completely open-ended. So there are no outcomes simulated. And in the context of the idea that the whole world is computational, simulation just means a slice of reality. It's one sliver of a larger reality. That's how I would define it. And to your other side of the question, which is something single originated it, yes, but from what I'm seeing, that's actually the conundrum. The highest civilization cannot figure out how did everything come from nothing. They can't figure it out. This is why they put all their resources into trying to answer that question. This is why all the simulations went. That's what I'm observing. Post the Discord link. I cannot because you won't see it. If for some reason it does not allow us to post, it doesn't show the post. But if you email me to lasersimulationx@gmail.com, I will email it to you. Or you can go to the YouTube page, and at the top, you'll see more links, and just click on it, and it will show you the Discord. Verona. Hit the like button. Wow, Ebony, thank you so much. And ufology, you guys are amazing. It's legal in Oakland, in San Francisco. Really? I don't think it's legal in California. I don't think it can be legal in parts of California. I don't think it works that way. It has to be on a state level at least. But again, in the end of the day, that's not the part that should stop anybody, of course, right? But or it doesn't. Gustavo is saying energy efficiency researcher, development of system for improving efficiency in cement manufacturing, crushing and grinding processes, junior researcher, Instituto Superior Técnicos, Serena. Where is that? Is that in Spain? Where is that? That photograph should be on the back of the book. There was a documentary of a crop circle I saw once where a message was deciphered from the ancient from Yiddish. Are you familiar with that? No. That's crazy. Yeah, the soberness on the molecule is kind of crazy as well. Al Boris is a new member. YouTube to give us strength here. Yeah. Thank you for the strength on Twitch. Welcome, 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 Maloney. Ebony, yeah, the link to Discord is in the description on YouTube. On my channel, like if you click on the more links, But also, please email me with the title super contributor, super donor, and I'll both schedule a Zoom call with you, and also, of course, we'll send you the Discord personally. But I just can't post it here because it just won't show it. I don't know why it doesn't show hyperlinks. What's up, Dan? Things are definitely happening. Wow. Thank you, guys. Everyone in the government to smoke? Absolutely. Dan just promise us you won't venture into the woods alone or go on the roofs of any tall buildings, just in case. Just in case. Okay. Earlier, this is a misunderstanding of process. The molecule is just the catalyst. Your mind is the lens. I agree with that. Have you tried making a room completely in red? Again, not yet. Not yet. Okay. All right, guys. I think, let me see what else we got here. Again, thank you so much, Ufology, Ebony, and Ben. You guys are superstars. All three of them contributed 5 different memberships to people. You guys are superstars. Thank you so much. Yeah, they are nice shirts. Um, Wow. Yep. Thank you for that, Ian. I make name of the molecule. Did my fiance saw the code? Yes. It took her a while. It was very uncomfortable. It took her like 5 months. Facebook group. Oh yeah. So I think Life with Lex. Somebody posted on the bottom what the name of it is. Look at Ian Zuniga. It's I make, all one word. I make the name of the molecule, all one word. Work for me. Click the view more in the description. Aha, perfect. Thank you so much. Nice cake. Thank you, Don. For the sensor, like a CD player. Yeah, again, CD player would definitely be interesting to see. Actually, I need to get one. Ooh, it's almost 2 a.m. again, dude. I gotta learn to go to sleep earlier. I mean, I am the most truly focused at these hours. That's definitely my real time. But because I do wake up early, maybe I should just give myself a break and wake up later. Honestly, I should stop pretending like I'm not a night owl. It's just crazy. Like my brain just wakes up at 5. Until 5, I'm like I mean I do things because I have to, but it's so hard for me to focus. Oh my god, it's crazy. After 5, I'm like a new person. I'm sure there are a lot of people with ADHD experiencing this. So okay, so let me just say it one more time. Ebony and Ufology and Ben. Ben did it now numerous times, like 3 times. Thank you so much, Eric. I appreciate the gift. And today, 2 more people donated 5 members. Guys, seriously, I'm not just saying this. I'm blown away by this because it shows how much people believe in the project. I deeply appreciate this, and I will put a lot of effort into making sure that the content is valuable. And going to keep working hard to make sure the content always grows in quality. So again, thank you so much. And also thank you for the rest of the community that is always here, always keeping everybody else in check. And the conversations and the interactions are so loving and so understanding. And this really feels like a family, like a community. And that means a lot to me. If you guys want to follow me across the other platforms, it would be Danny Goller on TikTok and Instagram, Goller Danny on X. Join that because on Tuesday I'm going to have the discussion with Gallimore. It's going to be 5 p.m. Pacific time on X. On Twitch, it's LaserX83, and on YouTube, it's Dango Thoughts. DANGO Thoughts, 3 words. I've added the members program, as you've heard now multiple times on YouTube, which will, depending on the tier, will allow you Zoom conversations with me with a group, Zoom conversations with me in private, depending on the tier. I've just added a couple more tiers because some people suggested them. I think those will be, I'm not sure how many people will occupy those, but they're available now, in which one of them I'm doing a full 5 session guidance with people. We go really, really, really deep. Um, will also give me the opportunity to really like spend time with people one on one, like go really, really deep into particular subjects. But these are expensive, so I would assume that I'm going to do everything I can that it's not like a paywall. So most of the information will be, it's a lot of the stuff that we're talking here, but you know, when you're one on one, it definitely is different. And I want to see if we can take people also personally into like deeper levels of understanding and more confidence in their own intuitions and beliefs and personal growth and all that stuff. So added those as well. If you want to join the members program, no matter what tier, you helping the project tremendously. If you're purchasing any of our lasers from codeofreality.com, you're helping the project. But if money is not something that comes easy to you, do not, under no circumstances, feel obligated to do any of that. The fact that you're here and part of the community and you're helping the project and you're participating and you're moving the message, it's also tremendously beneficial. And I deeply thank everybody for being a part of that. So I do believe that this is a world level collaboration, as grandiose as that sounds. But I think it's time that we learn how to do that. Maybe it's around something like this, and then eventually we'll get to a level of collaboration of enormous projects. So, yeah, are we moving to type 1 from type 0 right now? Who knows? How are you, Rose? Good to see you. But I think we are. So, thank you so much, everybody, for being a part of this community. Thank you for being here and doing this with me. I'll see everybody tomorrow. And I think that's it. Peace and love, and ciao. See you, everybody. Again, see you, everybody, on YouTube. Guys, you are just phenomenal. I'm speechless. Can't wait to interact with you on emails and the super contributors, guys. Thank you. It means a lot. Have a good night.